busy on the Hill testifying about the mortgage meltdown and why he thinks we've yet to hit the bottom.
The tremendous problems in the mortgage market, together with the supply of housing being put on the market by foreclosures, those two things, together with psychological and other factors, put us in real danger of driving house prices well below the fundamentals, which would be detrimental both to financial stability and to macroeconomic stability.
Alrighty, well, when asked whether he agreed with the president's foreclosure prevention plan, allowing bankruptcy judges to rewrite mortgage loans, Bernanke called it a trade-off. Well, here to help us sort all of this mess out is a watchdog on Wall Street, Mr. Chris Markowski. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. I could fix the whole thing easy.
Okay. How?
No problem whatsoever. I'd invest in bulldozers and wrecking balls. It's Econ 101. We all remember supply and demand, right? Yeah. There's more units out there than there are people that actually can move into these units, and that's where the problem is. And until we get rid of all this, house prices are going to still keep going down.
So we haven't hit the bottom yet, have we?
No, we haven't hit the bottom. But I mean, I look at it this way, and we've talked about this here on the program. We've talked about the, thinking of your home not so much as an investment, but a place you have to live. My value of my house probably dropped about $200,000 over the past couple years. But you know what? My payment also dropped as well because I just refinanced. It doesn't matter. It's shelter. It's there where I spend time with my family and my kids. If you think of your house as a necessity of life, we don't care when we buy a car and we drive off the lot and it's worth 10% less. Right. And that's how you have to think of your home.
Okay, let me just mention here the administration's plan to help stem foreclosures. Here's what they're suggesting: to modify loans, reduce payments to 38% of your income. The government will match those funds. Then that will in turn reduce your payment to 31%, and lenders who participate will receive a $6,000 incentive.
Okay.
So is that going to work? Is that incentive enough, and will the banks start lending?
Banks are lending if you obviously have the right credit score and the situation is right. The moral dilemma is this: you're 21 years old, you get your first job. You leave your house, you want to go out, you start a family, you want to buy a home. You're going to get, let's say, 5% on your mortgage or 4.8% on your mortgage right now. Why do you get 4.8% and why does someone get 2% because they were irresponsible prior? How is that fair?
That was my biggest question. I mean, look, we all feel for people that were sort of caught in a pickle here, but what about the people? I'm among them. I had a home I couldn't sell, and I paid the two mortgages, much to my detriment. I went into thousands of dollars of debt. I paid my mortgage, and now other people who didn't pay their mortgage or aren't paying their mortgage are going to get all this government assistance. How does that work?
Yeah, we're just on the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birthday, and he talks about, you cannot, help the weak by weakening the strong. And, there's a lot of bad situations out there. I understand that. But I'm also here in Southwest Florida. That's where I live, where I saw many people wanting to be Donald Trump, going out and buying 5, 6, 7 pre-construction condos. And that's the bulk of the problem right now.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. So as Key told you in news, President Obama has now set aside $634 billion in reserve funds to pay for a vast expansion of the U.S. healthcare system. Now, that is conservative estimate. Most people are saying at least $1 trillion to begin with, and then possibly
it's a down payment. Yeah, a down payment. It's going to come to over $1 trillion, and we all know when the government's involved, they're going to give us one price. Probably we can add double it as far as it's coming down the road. So it's going to be a very costly endeavor.
Yeah. Now, I will preface this by saying Chris and I are of like mind. So if you disagree with us, you've got to email me, andy.campbell@dailybuzz.tv, because for me, the whole thing with universal health care is it's set up the way the stimulus was, as this perfect straw man scenario, that it's either this or nothing. Yeah. That if this is the only plan, and if you didn't support the stimulus bill, you support the recession. And if you don't support universal health care, you want sick children not to get coverage. But the problem here is that we are already $10 trillion in debt, and we're about to hand over 1/7 of our economy to the government.
Which the government does oh so well in managing things. We all know that. They want to be involved in the banking business. They want to be involved in the healthcare business. They want to be involved in the auto business, all these various different businesses. And, last time I checked, you take a look at the resumes of most of these guys within Washington, D.C., and quite frankly, they never signed the front of a check. They never had to make payroll. They never had to do the things that we have to do in the private sector. So that makes me nervous.
Now, we all agree that there's huge problems in our healthcare system, and something has to change. But we were talking about why not change the way that our insurance system works. You have people going you know, it's not catastrophic coverage anymore. If you have a huge, you know, big surgery or something, it's when you go to the doctor for the littlest thing, insurance covers this. This is driving the prices to these crazy levels that we're seeing.
Well, there's mandates. Certain states you live in has to cover things like, you know, massage therapy, aromatherapy. You take a look at your insurance plan, alcoholism, drug treatment, all of these things are thrown into the mix. I'm a big believer that, you know, insurance is something in case something bad happens. Like we have a large deductible on your house, you have a deductible on your car. For my health care plan, I have a large deductible simply because, you know what, I'll pay that and I'll put the money into an HSA and I save thousands upon thousands of dollars a year. We need health care reform here in the United States, but I don't think running it out of Washington, D.C. is the best idea.